I swore an oath to myself to never make another school-related video because despite the fact that I make them sound like they were, just peaches and roses and everything was totally fine, it was a really unpleasant time, to be honest. Just not something I really want to go back to ever. Now, being forced to live for 12 years amongst people that completely gave no fucks about the fact that I was, amongst them was, just miserable. It was really fucking miserable. Now, mostly, like I said, because of the people, but there were a lot of other things that just made this whole thing not something I'd ever want to go back to. People either ignored me, or were afraid of me somehow, or considered me a mental fucking idiot, basically. Because I had absolutely nothing in common with these people at all. They would approach me and just go like, so, what's your favorite car, dude? What's your favorite car? Oh, I'm not really all that interested in the cars. What? How the fuck are you not interested in cars? It's like every fucking guy's dream ever. Ooh, what the fuck? Well, you clearly saw, you had to fucking see Fast and Furious 9 then. No, not really. I'm assuming it probably sucked a lot. What the fuck? Well, you probably played the newest Call of Duty. Although I believe Call of Duty is going into a much better direction now. So Fortnite, yeah, that's right, Fortnite. You clearly what's your kill to death ratio on Fortnite? No, Fortnite sucks. I don't play it. What the fuck? Well, you clearly gotta have your fucking gold watches, your gold chains, motherfucker. Where the fuck's your gold chain? I don't have a gold chain because they look stupid. Well, must be a fucking mental idiot then. Yup. I don't know. I had absolutely nothing in common with these people at all. They'd be talking about their latest football matches, latest basketball matches, their newest cars and shit like that. Their, fucking Fortnite. Ninja plays Fortnite. And I was just really not interested in that. I was, talking about Mario and fashion and, just stuff like that. And people didn't really understand how to react to that, I assume. So here I was left for 12 years to be, a complete lone wolf, an army of one. I can't say like the entirety of it was just a miserable experience because there were a lot of moments that were really nice. I'd actually, if I could, I really would appreciate, well, not appreciate, but enjoy spending, I guess, at least a couple of days back in the authentic 7th and 8th grade. Because those, as much as I might say a lot of bad shit about school, well, I used to say a lot of bad shit about school, but 7th and 8th grade were actually really awesome. It mostly just consisted of me, Evlad, and this guy David, just sort of fucking around, especially during history lessons, hiding away food and eating it during the lesson without the teachers ever noticing, playing completely dumb, pointless little fucking phone games like Case Clicker. And in case you don't know what Case Clicker is, it's a complete fucking waste of time. It's basically you opening cases from Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and well, it's not the real deal. But we would pretend like, wow, we were making so much money over here with our automatic fucking case opening. We had auto clickers back in the day, and that was like the coolest thing in the world. I remember clearly one time the fucking auto clicker just completely fucked with me and somehow managed to start playing a song on my phone on max volume, and I couldn't turn it off because it was still auto clicking. So I had to take the fucking battery off. Thank fuck for that fucking, back in the day phones where you could take the battery off. I'm pretty sure it was a Samsung S2 that I had, so luckily I could take the battery off. Us pretending that we were in Watch Dogs because David had a phone with an infrared sensor and he could basically turn the television off in the hall, so we were pretending like, wow, we were hacking the television and pissing off the administrator, and then somehow Evlad got all of the blame, so fun times, actually fun times, I will not lie. unironically, missed them to some extent. But the rest was just absolutely fucking awful. Like I said, me trying to fit into this society until I realized that it's completely impossible because the society just doesn't understand what they're handling, and that I have to look for a society elsewhere. But, thank fuck I actually realized that at some point. That being said, I'm pretty sure I've talked about everything that needs to be said in terms of, school experiences. I really feel like I can put this, episode of my life behind. Like I said, there's just more of the bad shit than the good stuff, and I feel like I've really said everything that needs to be said, except one story. One story that somehow remains that just came really recently came out, and it has managed to top everything. Everything I've ever seen before was topped by this one fucking ridiculous experience that happened, I believe, a month ago now. I'd be totally wrong. Maybe 3 to 4 weeks ago. Well, not the point. A really recent event that just blew away everything else. Because basically every school performance, every school event was just a clusterfuck of nonsense every single time. Even in primary school was pretty fucking strict, and they did, look at their shit pretty seriously. But even the events in primary school were just fucking awful. I mean, I understand that we were pretty young back then, but I remember, there being events like there was this one time where a couple of cops were supposed to give us a presentation, and they had no fucking idea what they were talking about at all. Like, I swear literally did no preparations for the whole thing. They just played these educational series, so to speak, not even made by them, but these kind of series that had this really fucking scary mascot. I might show you a picture if I find it. So if I found it, here's a picture of that fucking mascot. Real fucking scary shit. Seriously, this character is something I would not show my kids to. Okay, although I kind of enjoyed them when I was little, but I don't know, just really unsettling to look at now. But basically, they were showing these mini-series involving this character, and then when the short episode would end, they would just go like, well, when you're going through a sidewalk, you should always use your feet and not your hands to walk across. That's a really important detail. Don't forget that. I know it's really difficult to understand these things as a kid, but you'll get a hang of it, And then another episode finishes. Oh, well, it's important to not give all of your money to a strange, suspicious-sounding guy on the phone who told you that your parents just got into a car accident. Don't do that. Officer Wolf knows what he's talking about. It's important to listen to what Officer Wolf is talking about. It's just if suspicious number calls you, it's probably the best solution in that case is to throw your phone out the window. And just it was hilarious, but at the same time really fucking disappointing because I could clearly hear those guys just having no preparation whatsoever, just sort of, fisting their own asshole and just coming up with shit as they go, which was hilarious, but like I said, disappointing at the same time. Middle school was full of fucking dumb events that made no sense, especially the first days of school. None could top the 12th grade first day of school, but each and every single one of them were just fucking hilariously bad. Like, you could smell the unenthusiasm coming from everyone. Both the teachers and, both the students especially. It was just so fucking forced and, like I said, again, hilarious, but at the same time pretty fucking disappointing. High school, however, was the king of embarrassing, shitty school events. I remember the first day of... I don't think it was the first day of school, but it was something similar to that. I think it was like a day of integration or some shit like that. We were 9th graders, or for some reason they're being called first graders in gymnasium. the fucking numeric system starts all over again for some reason. But basically, it was, again, just a really fucking hilariously bad event. Being hosted by probably one of my least favorite people of all time, who I just like to call Princess because she thinks really fucking highly of herself. I imagine her arguments in this case are like, well, I just happen to know generic band number 3 and generic band number 7, and I've spoken to those guys several times and I'm like their biggest fan, and they have me on Facebook, so that just like makes me like the coolest person on this planet. Yeah, you gotta ask my permission if you want to look at me, motherfucker. Who you're speaking to? I am just, yeah, she was a really fucking annoying person, and I remember clearly her going on the microphone and just being like, why are you guys so unenthusiastic? And I was like, well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's a fucking school event, okay? Calm the fuck down. But apparently I was completely wrong, because it turns out that people will do anything it takes for these fucking school events. As shown in the final bell, I believe that's what you could call it. The basically final day for 12th graders in our school, and basically any school in my country, every time it's the final day, the final bell is what it's called. For the 12th graders, every single time there's this really fucking dumb event. And initially I was like, okay, I have, I can bet all of my money, I can bet my fucking hands, okay, that no one, the most enthusiastic assholes, the school politician posse, are the only assholes who are going to participate in this whole thing. I don't really know what they're called. They're basically the assholes that think that they have this really high power in school. They're like a politician party or some shit like that, when in reality the only thing that they can affect is the fucking school bell. The music of the school bell. And honestly, from the moment they started changing that shit is when I realized how much I missed the fucking default, fucking default school bell. Because, of course, they had to play the most poppiest garbage in the world. But, well, not always. Sometimes you could find a rare zinger, a rare, okay song, actually. But most of the time it was just, pop shit. Enjoy it, assholes. Enjoy listening to pleasant music when you're going to a fucking lesson. Because, of course, going to a lesson is really pleasant. And I was imagining, okay, so these are the only fuckers that are going to participate in this entire thing. Like, usually from what I've seen before in the past years, or from what I've heard, it's usually not a really big thing. But no, everyone participated. Every 12th grader, almost every 12th grader, not surprisingly. The only people that didn't participate in this whole thing mostly was fucking E-class. And E-class is the class basically that consists of people who have some form of respect towards, I guess, because despite the fact that they're still kind of just really gopnikish, they have just a teeny tiny bit of self-respect, which is what I was really expecting from people, in this whole fucking event, but apparently not. Everyone participated. Literally fucking everyone. Every cliche, even the fucking so-called quote-unquote underground, who, normally is too cool for school, bro, yeah. We ain't participating in no school jack shit. It's way too above our coolness ratio, or some shit like that. I was just really expecting, okay, there is no way these people can fucking participate, but apparently not. Apparently let's throw all of our bullshit standards aside and just go with it. I understand that, this is the so-called last performance, and this is why a lot of people just decided to go with it. And of course I will say, for as long as I live, it doesn't have to be a perfect performance as long as the people had fun, the viewers had fun, the participants had fun. It's all great, you don't have to go for a fucking perfect performance. But there is always a certain ratio known as, how far could you go until you're just gonna have to, drop out. Because it's just way too embarrassing for you. It's just it's way too fucking stupid for you to participate in that shit. Everyone has that ratio. I mean, just, like, imagine karaoke night, right? Just you and your friends going to sing a little bit of karaoke, have a little fun. Sounds simple enough, right? Now, imagine this exact same scenario, but you had to strip your clothes. I know some people would still do it, right? Now, add the fact that you have to do a little fucking stripper performance down there as well. Right? The ratio just keeps going higher and higher. Imagine you have to fucking... You'd be receiving a fucking piss fountain that goes... Okay, I apologize. I might be ruining your appetite over here. But I'm just trying to point across the ratio, right? The ratio of how far are you going to go until you'll just have to say no. It's a bit too much for me, right? And yeah, basically every single one of these events just had me saying no. No, it's so fucking stupid. But now when I look back at them and compare them to this, the fucking ratio just goes through the roof, alright? And I was expecting, like, okay, people, they were practicing. They know what the fucking performance is gonna be like. There is no fucking way that they could be participating in this shit. But no, apparently it's totally fine for everyone. Totally fine. I swear, I had to constantly pause the fucking video, right? There was a video, they recorded a live session of the performance. It was a 13-minute performance. And I had to constantly pause the video and just sort of digest everything I just witnessed. At times, I felt like I literally left this corporeal dimension and entered something completely new. Because it was so fucking bad. It's just, normally I say it was embarrassing or downright, just pathetic, unprepared. But in this case, it was just bad. It was bad. It was prepared for. People knew what they were getting into. People were aware of the fucking piss fountain that they were going to be receiving. And they still went with it. They still fucking went with it. I have no words. I have many words. Many things to say about this whole thing. But I was shocked. I saw this video twice, believe it or not. And the first time I saw it was because Ned was really wanted me to see the whole thing. So he showed it to me and Andrew. And we were really unwilling to look through the whole thing. But as I went further and further into the video, I realized that it's actually the best thing I've ever seen in my life. It was pretty fucking hilarious. I, at times, would go into a laughing frenzy for like 30 seconds, and I couldn't stop. But this time I decided, you know what, before making this video, I'll watch the whole thing to do a more in-depth analysis. And this was a completely different experience this time. It was like... At times, I was like, where am I? What is this dimension? Is this real? Am I dreaming? Because it was so fucking bad. I don't even know. Now, you might ask, so how come I didn't see the live performance myself? Well, that's because I luckily missed it. Yeah, I just missed it. Me and Ned, I wanted to bring Ned along. I wanted to show him the thing that he's always so excited about, because every time there's the fucking final bell, he's like, whoa, gotta go see that shit. And I'm like, Ned, listen, it's gonna be fucking awful. Of course, he doesn't believe me. Then he goes see it himself, and he realizes, oh, well, turns out it was really fucking awful. But this time, what just happened is, another great case of my fucking class sucks at providing information. Because they really fucking do. I swear, you have to go through like 7 messages to find the fucking correct one. The one that actually has the fucking correct information. Because every single time there's some fucking event going on, it's like 7 fucking constant messages, right? not constant, actually. No, not simultaneous. But like, first message. All right, event happening. It's going to be happening during next to a river, right? Good. Get excited. Whoopity fucking do. 2 hours later, there's a completely new fucking message, and like, no, never mind. River plan failed. Now it's next to a fucking lake. All right. Another 2 hours later, never mind. We managed to rent a villa, right? So it's going to be happening there. Don't miss it. Another 2 fucking hours later, never mind. Villa plan backfired. Back to river plan. Another fucking message later, just on and on and on and on. And then like the last message at like 2 fucking a.m.
in the morning.
Never mind. Lake plan is the one. The one. This time it's really the one. Also, you have 3 hours to send me money to my bank account, $20. Like, I'm usually the only one who misses it, but really, I can't blame myself. Just can't, alright? I don't fucking follow this group, minute after minute, going through each message, because usually I have it fucking muted because it just consists of fucking shitty, awful jokes that really just encourage me to fucking drown myself. And then occasionally, there's like important information. Just like with the fucking first day of school, like I said, 15 minutes, last 15 minutes of actually important information. This is exactly how it is here. But you have to go through several different messages, with the fuckers just changing their mind all the fucking time, over and over and over. I really just don't want to bother with that shit, okay? I don't want to fucking sit there reading through every fucking message, reading through their shitty fucking jokes. Like, suka, блядь, gonna get drunk. Friday night, motherfuckers, gonna get drunk, suka. Time to get drunker. О, да, вот это хорошо, vodka. Ooh, yeah. That's some proper vodka right there. And then there's just like a photo of a wall. Snapchat in a fucking nutshell. Just photos of walls. I don't want to bother with that shit, okay? I might not be the world's busiest man, but when it comes to this fucking bullshit, I'd rather do anything else, okay, than fucking read through every message, read through that fucking nonsensical garbage, just to get to something that's actually important. The only reason I wanted to participate in this whole thing anyways is just because of my class teacher, because she did actually spend a little extra time to help me out this year, so I actually really appreciate that. And I was going to participate in this event just, because of that. Not the dance. In no way the dance, but I was just going to, maybe bring her a flower or something like that, just sort of give a token of appreciation for myself. And then just sort of sleep through well, no, if I had Ned along with me, probably we're just gonna laugh our asses off at this fucking nonsensical performance. But yeah, like I said, we missed it, and I'm actually partly glad and partly regretful, because this would have been my favorite, my new favorite, one of those memories that you remember for a lifetime. Well, maybe not a lifetime, but luckily there's a video of it. And I might watch it again someday. It's now part of my videos that I like to rewatch sometimes collection. Show to some people who might laugh, show to people who might have a good time with me as well, Now, as tempted as I am, I cannot actually show you this video, because it's not on YouTube, and, well, in that case, I'd probably have people with pitchforks trying to murder me if I ever showed this video on my YouTube channel. And also, I just I'm not doing this for the purpose of bullying people. Really, the only reason why I'm making this video is just that I'm shocked. I really fucking am. It was such a bad performance. And, well, but no. I don't, even if I could, I probably wouldn't show you the video. So you're just gonna have to imagine what it looks like yourself. Not that you'd really want to see the video, because believe me, you'd have to have some pretty fucking strong guts to survive through that shit, okay? I'm not bragging over here, but I do have the guts for this kind of nonsense. And, well, yeah, I just don't want to target people. I just want to say, yeah, It was awful. It was a fucking awful and dumb event. But anyways, I guess it's about time I cover up this entire thrilling story. So, it's a 13-minute performance. I don't know if something was before that, but the video, basically, of the dance... Well, it shows the entirety of the dance, beginning to end. Maybe there was something other than that. Maybe it was... The event had hosts, apparently. And I will tell you in a second why that was just as hilarious as the rest of this fucking nonsense. But the 13 minutes that the video takes part is the entirety of the dance, which is probably the best part of this fucking event. So, this was, just like every year, it's supposedly a quote-unquote fancy dance. I put fancy in quotation marks because, well, there's like 3 minutes of it being sort of fancy, although I'm pretty sure a better fancy performance could be done by toddlers, because these moves are really just not that impressive. They really just... The trick where you can pretend that you know how to play piano, but in reality it's just you doing this sort of illusion. That's what this whole thing is. It's I guess it's impressive to someone who hasn't really seen a lot of it. And I'm not over here pretending like, wow, I'm a constant guest at those fancy balls, right? But I have seen a few of them. Right? Either in real life or in videos. And even the most simplest move, something really unimpressive, you know, compared to this, is gold. Really, these moves just consisted of left, you know, to the left, to the right, hand up, hand down, swing left, swing right, fancy dancing, apparently. And, well, everyone at least got prepared in their, you know, nice little costumes, and you know, the girls wore dresses, but 3 minutes of the so-called fancy dancing, that is just, well, it was just really disappointing. And before anyone says something like, well, of course, now here we have another one of those typical critics that couldn't do any better. Listen, if you're using couldn't do any better as an argument, you might as well just be one of those people that goes, did not, did too, did not, you know, because it's really childish, okay? It's really fucking childish. Imagine seeing a fucking football match, alright? You're voting for a team, maybe your town's team, maybe your country's team, and then they do an awful performance, right? A really fucking awful performance. And everybody starts jeering them, just everyone. Everyone starts fucking saying, you know what, that was awful, and you suck. Okay, this was bad. And then the fucking football team just goes, well, you couldn't do any better than us. Listen, okay? Listen. We, as the audience, the people that were, you know, looking at this whole event, right? We're not the ones who are practicing for it. We're not the ones who spend hours and hours and hours upon work into this whole thing, okay? We're not, all right? We're the viewers. And we have the privilege of criticizing you. Because maybe you, in fact, did a really awful performance, okay? If I'm, you know, making something, if, you know, I create something, I share it, maybe even this video, right? And you tell me, okay, it's an awful video. I'm not going to say, well, you couldn't do any better. Really, I'm not, okay? Because maybe you didn't like it, all right? Or maybe it was bad. And it's totally fucking understandable. Different tastes. Or just generally not a good performance. Right? And then people start saying, well, you couldn't do any better. How dare you? Just it's dumb. It's stupid. It's a childish fucking... It's just really childish. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, yes, I am not a good dancer. Matter of fact, the only so-called dance move that I know consists of me jumping in the air with my hands up. You know, dance move, right? I can't dance, and I wouldn't even try it. But if I ever do... You are more than welcome to criticize me on that, because it's awful. As the audience. But now I am the audience, and I am now just criticizing because I can. I don't know why that's such a bad thing if it was genuinely a bad performance, just like this was. And like I said, all it needs to be is just a lot of people having a good time, which is what this whole thing was initially, I believe. But then again... You know, when the fucking embarrassment ratio is this low, you know, it's when I start questioning, Why? Why, oh why did you sign up for this? Because despite the fact that it's no AAA production, even for a kindergarten play, it would be bad. I'm not the only one who thinks this way. I've seen some people comment negatively about this whole thing, which I actually was surprised about. Mostly older people. Yeah. So I guess this makes me a boomer. But it was a bad for fucking performance. That's all I gotta say about it. Now, like I said, 3 minutes of so-called fancy dancing, and what do we have after that that completely blew me away? It turns to a pop music video out of nowhere. I know that's not what it is, actually. It's not a pop music video being recorded. But it goes from this, like, fancy stylistic, so to speak, to just out of nowhere. It's so fucking random. I mean, from what I've heard, it's always just a segment, 10-minute segment, 15-minute segment of young adults doing a little fancy little dance, fancy little ball presentation or whatever to the teachers. And out of fucking nowhere, it goes from some, like, it wasn't really a fancy song, no Mozart, no Chopin, no Ludwig van Beethoven, but it still was at least following with the stylistic. I'm not saying it has to follow some bullshit standards. It could have done its own improv thing, but here it's so out of fucking place. So you might be asking yourself, what could be so random, just out of place in this here scenario? Well, they go from whatever that first segment was to Pitbull and Christina Aguilera. I just want to, feel this moment. That song. And then doing the typical pop music video girl dance. The one that you have seen millions and millions of times. On various places. I don't know what it's called, but I have seen it so many fucking times. And, well, of course, they had to do this one. Like I said, it's so fucking out of place. Just, yeah. Quote-unquote fancy to Pitbull and Christina Aguilera out of nowhere. Alright, it's like, imagine you're watching a good horror film, like, alright, say you're watching Jacob's Ladder. Good psychological horror movie, right? And then out of fucking nowhere, half the movie across, it just turns into a documentary. Fucking Jacob's just laying there in this fucking ice cube bath, and then out of nowhere he just raises up, just going, well, schizophrenia, as we know, is a pretty serious matter. But do you know how serious can it actually get? You see, it can occur to people of all ages. Young, old, female, male. It can happen to anyone. It's a really serious case, especially when it starts affecting your life. It is a really damaging situation for people who experience it. I don't know why my Jacob is suddenly British, but what I'm trying to point across is it's so out of place. Okay, fuck it. You're watching Paranormal Activity, better example, right? And then out of nowhere it turns into a fucking music video, right? Half the movie across, the rest of it is a musical, right? Those ghosts be attacking our house, but it's important. And then the fucking Ghostbusters just crashing out of nowhere. It's a Ghostbuster cameo. It's so fucking out of place, and frankly, sometimes it's pretty hilarious. But here, I actually was phased, unironically, because I thought people forgot about this song. Because that's how it usually is with most pop garbage, people know about it, people listen to it for like a month. And then it goes away, never to be heard again. But here people are like, no, apparently not. Pitbull, Christina Aguilera, whoopee. And then, like I said, they start doing this typical pop music video girl dance. I don't know what it's called. Then after this phasing moment, we go to phase 3. You know how after a theater performance, the actors, stand in front of the audience and, wave down. Well, here we have the people standing in this exact same order, singing to some... I don't even know what the fuck that song was. from the lyrics, what I could understand is it's a specifically for school leaver song. It was really cheesy. That's all I can say about that song. And that performance was just really odd. It's just a bunch of students, well, graduates, I guess in this case, standing in front of the school, in front of the teachers, standing still, barely just sort of swinging. And then a bunch of other students bring the teacher some flowers. So I guess how nice of you, but still really odd. And that song, well, that song was so fucking cheesy that it would even put fucking Martin Fry to shame. He'd look at that song and he'd say, wow, I was out-cheesed. And then, oh boy, you guys remember about the hosts? Yeah, we have hosts who said, I think, 3 to 4 words. I don't remember what the words were. It was something along the lines of thank you something. Maybe thank you very much or something like that. Thank you very much. But I don't know. And that's it. That is literally the entirety that the hosts did during that whole thing. Now, after that, we have a segment of silence, if I remember this correctly. I am not rewatching that fucking video to remind myself ever again. But I believe there's a moment of silence, and then another song starts playing. And then everybody just goes like, woo! And then runs to the center of the fucking schoolyard again. And then there's like a minute at least of, I don't know what the fuck that next part is. It's just like people doing whatever the fuck they want to do. I don't know, was that planned? Or maybe that was just like a fraction of, like a fraction of time for preparation? But I don't know. I don't fucking know what that was. It was just so out of place. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, even during like a first grade school play, we would always be, ready to jump into the next scene or whatever, right? It's not that big of a deal. We don't need to go in front of the stage to prepare for the next segment, okay? I don't know, like I said, maybe this was planned. I don't even know. I didn't even know what the fuck this whole thing was at all. This whole fucking performance, right? It actually really reminds me of this kindergarten play, no joke, where at one point we basically just had to improvise dancing. Yeah, improvise dancing. And my dancing, of course, as me being the king of dance, was just me sort of jumping around, waving my hands around. Yeah, very good, But that was me, like 5 years old, 6 years old, I think. And here we have 12th graders doing this next, this exact same thing. I mean, I don't know, maybe it was planned. Maybe there's some artistic genius hidden behind it. I don't know. But after that dashing little segment, we have yet another performance. This time one of my favorite moments somehow during this entire thing. Again, it's a bunch of girls doing another stupid dance, right? And this is probably the moment where I should comment about the fact that the way everyone was dressed during this whole thing was just really fucking boring. I know it's supposed to follow the aesthetic of fancy, but this was not a fancy dance. Really, it was not. It was 3 minutes of pseudo-fancy dancing, and the rest was just... I don't even know what the fuck that was. But not going too far off the subject, despite the fact that I did like 50 million fucking times now. So, right, dance. Girls doing a dance, right? Now, for some fucking reason, I don't even know why. I can't understand why. But we have just girls in front of the stage doing a dance, right? And for some fucking reason, they threw Strap-on in there as well, okay? Now, I know upon hearing this name, not a lot of you are accustomed to it, but Strap-on basically is the equivalent of everything bad. He's the kind of guy who just can't do anything right at all. Just anything. He sucks at absolutely everything he does. And back in the day, he was my best friend. So, you know, it took me a little while to realize that maybe my parents for once were actually correct when they said, you know what, this is someone you don't want to be friends with. And I didn't befriend him just because of him being a ginormous loser, but it's because he started being a complete dick to everyone and we just really did not want anything to do with him ever again. But yeah, Strap-on was never the kind of, you know, mic dropper, audience taker, audience, just, you know, the kind of person that would phase the audience. Or even do, you know, a simple performance, right? He couldn't fucking act a tree right, okay? And if at any point they would have put him in front of the fucking stage, like with the rest of the quote-unquote better performers, he basically, fucking SWAT would have driven over in there and just shot everyone because they were doing a fucking terrorist act, okay? It would have been so bad that it would have started fucking just damaging people physically. People's eyes would have started to fucking bleed out and their ears explode. Just out of the fucking sheer sight of Strap-on at the front of the fucking stage. But here they managed to find a little, you know, a nice little way to balance that out by putting Strap-on, you know, with the girls to do a girl dance. What is a girl dance? I know that it's not exactly a thing anymore. No more gender specific things, because I'm pretty sure we don't really use those things anymore. But yeah, there were, I believe, 10 girls and Strap-on among them for some fucking reason. Now, of course, this performance would not be finished without some terrific fucking sound along with it, so they were playing Still Dre. Now, that doesn't sound too bad, right? Dr. Dre, Still Dre. Except that the lyrics were replaced with, I believe, someone from the school singing with auto-tune. I don't know, I might play you a segment of that audio, right? I might. If I'm feeling extra sadistic, but maybe not, okay? If the next segment after this is an awful version of Still Dre, awful cover, well, just know that I was feeling extra sadistic that day. Well, I promise this is the last time I ever pull a stunt like that on you, okay? No more torture, okay? What I submitted to myself does not need to be submitted to you. But, yeah, this was almost sort of the last performance. Basically, like I said, they have the girls and Strap-on at the front doing this. I don't even know what the fucking dance was. I'm pretty sure this was, as Nostalgia Critic stated very well in one of his reviews, I'm pretty sure it was a Pixels review.
They just give up.
Yeah, that is the best way to describe that. It feels like everyone just gave up. The people in the back, I don't even know what the whole fucking thing was. And we have this just dashing song playing in the fucking background, right? And also, like I said, this is the part where I just completely... My expectations were completely subverted when I saw people that I believed had some self-respect, just some fucking self-appreciation, to not participate in this fucking nonsense. They knew what they were gonna have to deal with. But they did, alas. No one here needs any self-respect. If they're gonna tell us to strip down, we're gonna strip down. And then after that, well, that's the end. Like I said, it was 13 minutes of horror, comedy, sadness, trauma, laughter and crying at the same time. But not out of sadness or happiness, but rather out of confusion. It's like you don't know what emotion you're supposed to be giving this. Am I supposed to be happy? Am I supposed to be sad? I don't know. And I still don't know. I still don't fucking know. After watching this twice, I don't know what emotion am I supposed to be feeling about this. It's so... Like I said, it's the final boss of awful school performances. It was so bad. And what I've said about this video, about this whole performance in the video, will never be a testament true unless you see it yourself, which I now realize reason number 3 why I wouldn't show it myself is because it was horrible. This performance will be a mystery to me for as long as I fucking live. I know I won't remember it for that long, which is great, unless I may rewatch this video myself someday. Part of a nostalgic little routine. And I'll find the video where I was talking about a really shitty school performance, and, well, I might get the confusion back once again. I might remember it again. I might even find it again. And the confusion might be back. And I might deal with the horror once more, trying to figure out what exactly did I watch. It's so bad, it's fucking awesome. Really. I feel like this is one of those things, exactly. It's just so fucking awful. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. Yet it still makes me think about these weird emotions, like, I don't know, sadness, happiness. In between, but not really. Not in between. I don't know. I just don't know. And just one of those things. But I'll probably not try to figure it out for too long because, like I said many times, Generation Z is something I will never truly understand. But at least luckily now something I won't try to adapt to anymore, because that's what I was doing for these past 11 years. Just believing that, I must be doing something wrong here. I must be making some bad choices. That's why people refuse to interact with me. Until I realized, no. It's just I don't get these people, and they don't get me. We're a mystery to each other. And I really just won't bother figuring it out. That's really all I wanted to say here. A really long video, unnecessarily long, but the more I thought about it, the more I just felt confused, really. It's a feeling I don't have too often. Confusion. And that's what I'll be left with for the entirety of this day. The last thing, I've been playing Maximum Action in this video once again, just like in my last one. And it's simply done to show you the now differences in between these videos. I have a new computer which can support 60 FPS, which will, well, it will improve at least the gameplay footage in terms of looks, but videos themselves, my commentary, well, that's a different situation. I might talk about my computer some other day, but for now I will settle down into a cold bath and ponder upon this experience I have brought upon myself.